Welcome to another parent-teacher video lesson from the earlygiftedmanual.com, a free website for homeschooled children 3 to 7 years old and their parents that promotes and develops giftedness at an early age. I am Gary Blank, the creator of that site, and your host and facilitator for this video and all of the videos in my educational program. As the video lessons are designed to work in conjunction with the program on my website, I ask you to, at some point, click on the URL link in the description box below, and this action will take you to the earlygiftedmanual.com. By doing that, you will be able to put this lesson and all of the video lessons here on my channel in the proper context of the total program that I am presenting to you and your child. And welcome everyone to lesson 48. This lesson is called Sorting by Attributes. And in this lesson I will show you or teach you how to teach your child to do just that, to be able to take a group of objects and sort them by attributes. And we'll get into a definition of attributes shortly here. The materials you will need for this lesson: you will need a collection or collections. And what do I mean by that? Well, you can see right here one of my collections. This is a collection of different kinds of seashells. A collection could also be, some kids like to collect rocks. Lots of kids have trading cards. That's a collection. There are all kinds of collections: buttons, stamps, coin collections, or you could even just use a small bank of coins for this particular lesson. So one or more of those, and you will also need a set of attribute blocks. There are 60 blocks in this set. I will show you this set in more detail in just a bit. But I can tell you that there are 4 attributes to these blocks: color, shape, size, and thickness. So, what exactly do we mean by sorting by attributes? Well, an attribute it's a characteristic or a quality of a person or a thing. So I think the best thing to do is to give your child some examples of what you mean by that. For example, like the color of something is an attribute. If something is red, that is an attribute of the object. Or its shape might be an attribute, or even its texture might be an attribute. You know, in the case of a person, brown eyes is an attribute of some people, or blonde hair is an attribute of some people, or let's try to find something even a little different. Good sense of humor is an attribute. Intelligence is an attribute of a person. So you get the idea, and you could talk about this a bit with your child. And of course, he'll see concrete examples of qualities and characteristics of objects when we get started here. So what does it mean to sort? Well, simply you can tell your child means that he or she will be arranging things or classifying things by these attributes. So to start out with, let's say you have a very young 3 to 4 year old. There are some very simple sorting tasks you can do around the home. For example, you could have your child help sort the laundry after it's done to its proper drawer or place or whatever. Your child could help you sort the recyclables if you do that. Your child could help you sort the silverware and the plates as you put them away, as they come out of the sink or the dishwasher. So those are some very simple, what's the word I'm looking for? things, everyday kind of things that you could do with your child just around the home, your very young child, to sort of give them an introduction to the task of sorting by attributes, these informal activities. Another activity you can do with your young 3 to 4 year old child is an activity I call sorting the set deck. And what is a set deck? Well, I have one here. It's a deck of 81 cards, and it's used to play a game called the set game. And they have 4 attributes. And I'm not going to really go into that too deeply right now, since you can go to lesson 56, video lesson 56 in the earlygiftedmanual.com and learn all about set cards. But I can tell you, here, let me pick them up here again, that they have 4 attributes. Those attributes are color, shape, number, and shading. And of course, that makes them ideal for a sorting exercise. And to learn more about this sorting exercise that you can do with your very young child, just go to video lesson 56 part 1 in the earlygiftedmanual.com. And if your child's a little older, or if your child's quite precocious, you could start out just by looking at his or her collections, or make up a collection of objects and work with those. My favorite that I like to do is with, here, let me move some of these things out of the way here. My favorite is, I love working with young kids with seashells. And of course, this is a little tougher than just simple sorting tasks, because now there are more attributes to look at. For example, I could start sorting like this. Here's 2 that I call flat shells. Let's put this one out here. As you can see, I don't know what you'd call these shells. They're kind of elongated spirals, so I'll put them in a place here. Then we have these shells that are sort of conical. And as you can see, there's another one. There's another one. As you can see, as we take them out here, that yes, even these shells have their various attributes, and you could sort them in that way. Here's a shell that has a lot of texture. It has a lot of pointy things coming out of it. I'll put that there. And here's another one that's just like it, almost some little pointy things coming out of it. And I could go on and on, but I think you see where I'm going with this here. Maybe just a couple more. Here's another flat shell. And here's a pile. We can make ones with bluish tints. And I think I'll stop right there. And there's a great activity you could do with a great sorting activity, sorting a collection of seashells with your child. So I'm going to put that off to the side here. And I'm going to bring in my attribute blocks. And as you can see, I placed them in a shallow tray, which is the top of a shoebox. That works pretty well. And like I said, there are 60 of them. And you can sort these by shape, by color, by size, and by thickness. So that is a total of 4 different attributes. So let me explain a little more. For example, shapes. In this set of 60 attribute blocks, there are 5 different shapes. Let's see if I can find them all. There are triangles, circles, squares, rectangles, and hexagons. So as you can see, 5 different shapes, 3 different colors. There are red pieces, blue pieces, yellow pieces, if I can get one out here. All right. two different sizes, and I'll show you that. Here's a large size and a small size, and I picked the same thing, shape and color rectangle, to show you the difference. So there's a large and a small. And finally, there are two thicknesses, and I'll use these same two to show you. I'll have to bring these up really close here. As you can see, some are thick and some of these are thin. So two types of thicknesses, what I'm just simply going to call thick and thin pieces.